This pretty good coverage is brought to you by Power Grip, the official retail partner of the European Pro Tour.
Hello and welcome back to coverage of the 2023 Estonian Open, third stop of the European Pro Tour. We are bringing you round 1 back 9 FPO feature card coverage brought to you by MDG Media. We are here today in Pihlapalu at Kõrvemaa Disc Golf Park, a beautiful yet demanding wooded course. I'm Connor Wood, and with me, Johan Walstam.
Yeah, we saw some good but tough action there on the front 9. We can look on the leaderboard here for the FPO. The hot round scoring even, and we can see Anneli at +2 in shared second place. The back 9 has some easier holes, but also some much harder holes. So we'll see how that goes for these ladies.
Well, hey, speaking of easy holes, we are here on hole 10. Par 3, 81 meters. This is one of the friendliest holes here on the course. A straight to rightwards shot through the trees, shapes really nicely for the right-handed forehand if you can, but honestly, more of you can just throw a straight shot. But really attackable hole, and likely one that all of these players will want to try and get the birdie on.
Yeah, third easiest on the day. 2 aces actually, and let's see if they can also get in that green shape as we see a beautifully shaped forehand here out of Elina. She got that birdie on hole 9, and she's looking to get another one.
That'll be 2 for 2, a stunning forehand flex from Elina. Keiti really pushing that first tree, but turns right before it, and she slides her way up nicely, flattening it out at the end. She's right up there in the circle as well. Great display of the backhand line.
Yeah, the backhand line definitely looking more touchy here. But as long as you get through those initial setup trees, you can definitely get a nice slide up there to the basket. And that one was a bit too turned over. And Anneli, she's got good forehand. She goes for it. Left side, she's asking to come back, but unfortunately it catches up a little early. But she, knowing Anneli, she'll probably run it.
Yeah, I think no doubt. I think not the intended gap that she hit there, but still getting enough distance to have a long look. Tinja with a simple layup.
Oh, it's Keiti's up next, so that means Anneli was closer than we thought. She gives her a run.
We may have missed her upshot, unfortunately, as I think I see her disc underneath the basket there, that pink tactic which she likes to use.
I believe you're right. That's Keiti here.
Yeah, finding trouble again. This happened in the front 9 on a few holes. She looked to have brought it together, but again struggling on the green with some shorter putts here on hole 10. Just not quite finding the timing on the release. I think she'll be looking to clean that up, and hopefully she can put this one in.
And you can see she is really going for it, giving it the height and speed, but not putting down her mini marker. She keeps on going here, and I know this feeling. It's one of the worst feelings in disc golf. She switches to the turbo, and good old reliable. She's 100% with the turbo so far. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Hey, she puts it in. Definitely not the hole that you want to find a big number on, but hey, it can happen. As Elina finding the birdie there. Great forehand. Really shaping the fairway perfectly. Tinja with the par, and Anneli to tap in a 3 as well.
Yeah, that must feel good to get the birdie there. And she does seem to have a well-rounded game, Elina. She got a solid backhand and forehand. She just cleans up the approaches a little bit. She would be scoring fairly hot out here, I'd say.
We'll see if she can continue that heat off holes 9 and 10 here on hole 11. A 120-meter par 3 uphill tunnel shot the entire way. A stark contrast to hole 10. This hole is very demanding and an absolute bonus birdie if you can get it. This requires a ton of power, accuracy, and to hit all of the gaps. This is one where taking a 3 is just fine.
Yeah, 120 meters, trees everywhere. Good luck. it was scoring as the second hardest hole on the day. We'll see how they decide to attack this hole. Another solid forehand. It just turned over a little too much there, but we'll have a fairly easy up and down for 3 there. Tinja up next. And that does seem like to be a fairly common mistake for her. She turns over the disc a little too much on these tight lines. And Anneli gets, I'm not sure if it was a fist pump, but she definitely got lucky there, as I was way turned over on the forehand.
I think that was just a reaction to seeing that kick. She knew that it was a significant misrelease, but a really great result considering she is dead center fairway. But I think still about 80 or 90 meters to the pin will not be an easy upshot. So you see Keiti there also find a little bit of trouble, but enough distance to likely still be playing for par.
Yeah, and the sun did come out, but it looks like now the rain is back again. Can definitely affect your throwing here. As let's see what Anneli can do from about 80 out. She goes for that power forehand again, but once again just turns it over a little bit too much.
Keiti, from the catch cam angle, we see her hit all of the gaps, slide her way up just outside the circle. Pretty nice line, if anything a bit low, but very solid to give herself a look at par.
Yeah, definitely a good approach. Let's see, Tinja here was a bit cut off by the tree there. Does a good job to get a full swing, and she lands roughly the same distance away from the basket.
Hey, we'll have a putt off. Always exciting.
No doubt. And we see Elina here. A little bit awkward footing, perhaps. Doesn't quite get the turn she wanted on the backhand. And she'll have a tough 3 from there.
Oh, as Anneli gets a lot of Anheuser again, this time on the backhand. She slides out of the circle.
And that putt went way up there. And then way back down again. That'll be a tough bogey save from there. Nice little mound to catch her attempt there. And here's Keiti for 3. Oh, and after those putting struggles, that one would definitely have helped her. But you can definitely say it was a solid bid. Can't be too upset about that one.
Yeah, looked great out of the hand. Elina as well there going for her par save, but just a little bit wide. Anneli the same, as we are likely now having some bogey putts.
Yeah, bogey putts all around, I believe. That one is for a double. She puts it in. And the rest should be just a few tap-ins.
Tinja takes the 5 as well. This one really tricky. Very tough hole. Lots of trouble to find.
Double, 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 and single bogey for a card here. It was one of the hardest hole, or the second hardest hole in the day, so not too bad there. You're not losing too many strokes on the field, but definitely a tough one to get.
Yeah, but we move on to hole 12. A downhill left to right fairway that shapes really nicely for a backhand flex or forehand if you have the power for the right-handed players. Sitting at 106 meters, this par 3, heavily guarded, coming in once again to a very fast green. I think your hyzer angle control, whether you play the flip up or the turnover or the flex Anheuser release out of the hand that comes back, whatever line you choose, you really need to have a significant control over your angle and try to land soft.
Yeah, it does look like it shapes up nicely for the backhand turnover. As we see Keiti here give it a nice shape. She just needed a bit more height and she would have been up there. Elina here, shown to have some good power in her throw. She goes for more of a flex line. doesn't quite have enough turn on it. She ends up in a roughly same spot, and you can really see those evergreen trees there, blocking out any real clean look.
And I like this line a lot from Tinja. As this begins to flatten out towards the end, she fights all the way up to the green. She will have a long look to the basket.
Yeah, great shot there. Those trees will definitely be a bit in the way. As you see Anneli up here, also going for the flex line. And this looks even better, I wanted to say. And I saw that tree coming in the way, but I believe she's just outside circle. Great shot by her.
Yeah, just centimeters from perfection there on her line. No worries at all. Elina with a big spike hyzer scramble shot. She will put herself just at circle's edge with a C2 putt.
Yeah, looked like a tricky line there. A lot of branches and trees in the way. I see Keiti here. She has some obstruction. She's going to want to go over. Goes for the any flex line there. Rolls up nice to the basket. Not bad at all.
We see Elina here for par. Just slightly off to that right side. This is Anneli for birdie.
Gives it the step, and she cashes it in. Great putt there.
And so aggressive, always with a great pace, a full putting stroke. You rarely see her give a tentative bid, always very confident, and you see it paying off there for her here on hole 12. Tinja as well with the birdie putt. Really nice. You can see how elated she is to find that one. Really nicely done as well.
Yeah, putting the hands together and giving her thanks there. She definitely wanted to get that one. Bogey tap in here. Looking a little frustrated about that one.
Yeah, I think the tee shot here on 12 shapes nicer for the Anheuser release that flattens out rather than a hyzer release that turns over. Keiti with the patented turbo tap in finds the par.
Good or reliable, 100% turbo, still staying strong.
Here, hole 13. Par 3, 108 meters. You have a soft right to left shape, but really a straight shot pushing that backwards tree line for the right-handed backhanded player will do a good job. A fighting hyzer or hyzer flip that tries to have a soft finish. If you do make it all the way to the green, it slopes slightly right to left as well as being pretty fast. You want to make sure to try and settle as quickly as you can, as you very frequently see big skips, flares, or rollaways if you don't land it soft.
Yeah, tricky green here. You could definitely see that downslope and trees further down the hill getting in the way. You're going to need quite a bit of power to get there. As we see Tinja here going for a bit of a flex line. She stays center fairway and she'll have a fairly routine up and down from there.
Anneli, early release from the hand. Down left, she'll probably have about half the fairway left to contend with.
That's something that you see fairly often. Someone making a mistake and then two or more people making the same mistake. It's definitely something in my personal experience I've seen a lot. But Keiti, she will have none of that business. She puts it center down the fairway. She needed just a bit more height to get all the way, but that's a great shot.
Elina showing a soft flip up to flat. She hyzers out as well. Very nice placement.
Yeah, those two will be in about circle 3 there. I'll probably just step or pitch up from there. As you see Anneli give a nice forehand approach. Tinja with a nice follow through on her approach shot. Leaves it a bit longer than she probably wanted, but definitely not bad. And
a roll off the stump there for Elina. Keiti from downtown gives the stepper and also settles it soft right within bullseye.
that should be another turbo for her.
Oh, Tinja just off the band, slightly high.
Yeah, that came out real clean with a lot of heat. Good to see good confidence out here in these putts. As the rest of these should be routine tap-ins.
There you go, and Tinja for hers as well. Tricky hole, very specific shape. You need to flip it up, but you can't turn it over. You really have to push straight for a long time, about 100 meters, and then fade at the last 5 to 10. Very demanding. Here you see an overhead drone shot of hole 14. A horseshoe-shaped par 4 sitting at 170 meters. You want your first shot to go right, you want your second shot to go right again, and your third shot ideally to go right again. A lot of these players are going to go for a high forehand hyzer if they have the distance. Backhand turnover can get pretty quickly in trouble as you do an almost 180 degree turn around the corner. If you can throw a 90 meter forehand hyzer, you can have a more straight, clean look at the green, but very tricky to find enough turn around that corner on the first. Really unique shape here.
Yeah, another U-shaped hole. Definitely helps if you have a forehand here, it looks like. It does look real tricky though. We'll see how they decide to dissect it as Anneli. She definitely dissected this hole off the tee. That was a great shot around the corner. She'll have another forehand or backhand approach there.
Yeah, I think a nearly perfect shot from Anneli. This fairway looks a little bit thinned out compared to last year, where there was a few more small bushes here at that corner. Looks nice and open now. Elina showing a strong command of the forehand. She hits this soft flex on the inside, catches some trees. She's pushed almost to that corner, but does find OB. No shortcuts allowed. I didn't mention it on the whole preview, but there is OB on the right. If you try to fight through, you do have to match the fairway.
Yeah, and the fairway is fairly skinny the whole way through, so yeah, as you said, no shortcuts here. As we're going to see a few scrambles here to make it back in the fairway. Throwing from what looks like an old tee pad or maybe the regular tee pad. She puts a nice flex line down the middle.
I do believe this is the drop zone. Yeah, there's that small signage. If you do not manage to keep it within bounds, you can find yourself in some trouble there. So we see Anneli, a picture perfect drive. She still has a soft left to right, but given how much distance she has, she can really fight up there, and she does just about circle's edge for her birdie look. She's shown some comfort from that range. We'll see if she can maintain that confidence. Keiti with a short pitch out back to the fairway.
Fairly wide open here. She pulls out a understable putter, looks like. Trusts the hyzer and puts it right next to her basket. Good run there. Just needed a bit. She does have a tendency to miss right when she puts a bit more power on the putt. Anneli had a stepper for 3. Just didn't quite have the juice there.
Oh, Tinja. Great putt. Wow. She finds another one there from, I believe, deep circle 1, maybe early circle 2. Great putt to secure her second birdie here on this back nine.
See Keiti here. Turbo. It's so center, you know. It may do a few flips, but if it's center, then it's good in my book.
And she hasn't missed one. I think she doesn't really lean on it outside of 5 to 7 meters, or rather 7 and under. I think less than that she seems quite comfortable, but
Yeah,
anything past
like
that, and I think it's quite tricky to throw that sort of style without much horizontal spin. That flipper, tough to keep it going straight with that distance.
Yeah, no doubt. And after a few struggles on earlier holes, maybe just something temporary to make sure the disc goes in the basket.
Yeah. And hey, if it works, why not? Here on hole 15, par 3, 130 meters. This is a long uphill par 3. Many players will opt to go around those trees on the left or the right. In order to push the distance a little bit, you can utilize some turn, go for a turnover or flex shot. There's a good potential as well for a roller line. This hole really allows you to choose how aggressive you want to get and which shot you can execute the best with a variety of gaps available to you. Each player really can pick their distance line.
Yeah, I really like these kind of hole designs that really allows you to play to your individual strengths. Tinja pulls it a bit right. I do believe she got through enough that she will have a open look towards the basket. As we see Anneli do similar mistake there. I will say the backhand does look more tight than the forehand route, although this is a very long way for a forehand, so definitely some trade-offs there. As we see Keiti pure that gap, she will still have about 50-60 towards the basket, as this is a proper long hole, especially with the slight uphill.
Yeah, tough to see the slope on camera, how steep it really is, but it is significantly uphill. This is a better example of just how much you need to fight up that slope. Elina slightly turning over her forehand approach. She will be short with a long look at par. This is Tinja. A really nice shape, soft flex, sits it down right in that bullseye. That is a very nice throw.
Yeah, there was never no doubt where that was going. As you see, Anneli here didn't leave it or didn't throw enough left to get, but a solid result there. Tinja as well going for a bit more spiky of a hyzer forehand, and she'll be about 6-7 meters out.
Oh, and Elina even a bit shorter than it looked off the camera angle, still with a throw for her upshot. Leaves herself a little bit long with a slight tester putt. We see Anneli off the knee, but finds some branches early, which push her putter down.
Yeah, she does have a bit of a up and down putt, so those branches definitely coming into play there. As we see a solid putt there from Elina.
Yeah, I believe she must have been OB off the tee there.
I think she just threw 4 times.
Oh, that's, you are correct.
Yeah.
As I was replaying the shots in my head there.
Yeah.
She struggled on that upshot, coming up just a bit short. But Keiti making sure to put herself close enough to secure par.
Yeah, and you can see why this hole, it was scoring actually the 14th hardest hole, or the 4th hardest hole, rather.
14th hardest.
Yeah,
Crazy
the 4th
stat
hardest.
there.
Yeah, you gotta flip it. A lot of pars on the day, not a lot of birdies on this hole in FPO or MPO. So these are the scores you could definitely expect here.
Yeah, total bonus birdie for sure. We have 3 holes left to go. Hole 16, par 3, 120 meters. These players will need to shape a long straight shot as they try to beat these gaps. Likely a distance driver to push as much as you can through these. You want to try and control the skip or flare as you try and approach this green with this, as usual, hard-packed earth, as well as the tree lines to the left and the right. You want to try and land nice and soft, low to the ground. Another demanding par 3.
No doubt. Similar to hole 11, another 120 in tight fairway, woods everywhere. Just looking off this tee, I'm trying to find what the line is. So I'm hoping these ladies can show me what the correct path is here.
Yeah, the backhand flex is the way. Maybe a pure hyzer flip if you have the distance, but you need something which turns over and gets a good glide with a soft leftwards finish. You want to go, let's see if Keiti can hit it. If she can beat that tree on the right side, which she does, and fade left at the end, which she almost does, that's a really great example of that line.
Yeah, she definitely had the power there to get all the way. Just turning it over a little bit too much. Let's see if Anneli can make the adjustment. Throwing that DD1. Oh, it was looking so good. That's happened to her a few times this round where 90% through the flight is looking so good, and then she catches the very last tree. But she'll have a fairly easy up and down from there. Elina hyzering out a bit early, but she should be able to straddle out there for also a fairly stress-free par.
And a solid backstop there to catch the approach from, I believe, Tinja. Elina with a soft hyzer bid. Brings it up nicely.
Yeah, solid approach there. Nice little Annie line to slide up there.
Yeah, I think less slide than she anticipated as she leaves herself about 9 meters out. That's a nice example there from Anneli on the upshot. She's closer than 9 at about 7 or 8. Oh, another strong side chain out. Just some unfortunate putting woes on the green for Keiti this round.
Yeah, she's so close to making the right adjustment. She has been missing a right a lot. Can be very tricky to make the right amount of adjustment on your putting mid-round. Often you will over-adjust or under-adjust, but she's right there. She just needs a couple centimeters left, and she'll have a lot of these putts will go in.
Yeah, and we did see a brief period of rain in the front nine, just 2 or 3 holes as they pulled out the umbrellas. The difference in conditions throughout the round can also contribute to that feeling, whether it's the release or the touch. You got to make sure that you keep it tight.
No doubt.
Hole 17, par 3, 90 meters. This is another good chance at birdie for these players. Softly uphill, you have a straight 90-meter shot. You really need to control your landing point, as once you do make the gap, you have to contend with an elevated basket. Really simple straight shot, it may look like, but still a very tricky hole, and one that will really test what many would consider to be a stock shot for a professional level player. It's still not easy, but straight 90 meters should be something that everyone has a chance to attack.
Yeah, with that sloping green, you definitely want to have some good speed control here. You want to land before the basket and just slide on up. That looked like a solid effort there. Needed just a bit more in order to get close. Anneli up next. Looks like a flippy mid-range. Does it have enough turn?
Oh, she doesn't beat the tree on the inside, but slides past on the outside into the circle. She might not like how that line looked off the tee, but a very fine result and a good throw.
Yeah, solid result. And we should mention this elevated basket to make this hole just that much more harder. Can definitely, if you end up short here, I'm expecting to see some layups, as if you shoot past the basket, you're going to end up way down the hill.
Yeah, and it also is dropping off a little bit behind the basket from the direction of the tee. We see some good power off that shot from Keiti. She gets right up there, but on the right side rough. You can see that it is just slightly downhill after the fairway. There's the layup that you mentioned. Looking towards the end of your round, I think this is a situation where some players might just be risk averse and accepting where their round is at. No need to put yourself in too much trouble. We'll see if Tinja chooses to go for this.
Solid bid there. It was very center, so it had very little chance to go long. And you know Anneli is going for it. No punishment there. She'll be tapping in her 3.
And another great hole. Really a clear line that you have to hit. I think you could throw it backhand or forehand. Just need to control the height and put it straight. Oh, Keiti going for the turbo tapper A little bit low.
Yeah, a bit of a different angle there. Turbo tapping upwards. Might be a little bit slight technique adjustment needed there. That's how it goes.
And here you see the beautiful drone shot of hole 18, a pure island hole. Sitting at par 3, 110 meters, you have a water carry the entire way as you try to crash into this hillside and settle soft. This is, if you have it, a big power hyzer or a soft flex to straight hyzer flip. This is really about playing to the side of caution, pushing the distance as much as you can, and making sure you stick the island. Not the one in the middle of the lake, not advised, but the island on the other side.
Yeah, this one has a lot of risk reward written all over it. I'm expecting to see shots just like this. Bit of a pushing hyzer. You don't want to be turning over something too much, because then you could easily turn it over too much. Anneli.
Yeah, I mean, the land is on the left side. The more left you fly, the sooner the land and inbounds comes into play. So the further you push it, as Anneli skips just on the edge. The further right you push it and turn over your disc, as you push for distance, the further you need to fly to get inbounds. So some choices to be made here.
Yeah, great hole design. And you really have to know your distances here. And you also have to know how much you're willing to risk trying to get more distance. As you just laying up a bit before the basket can give you advantage, as Keiti here going for it. Can she get the skip?
She sticks the
And
island.
she's
She will have a
safe.
long putt.
Wow, what an aggressive play there. Really paying off, as she'll be in circle 1, I believe. And this is rolling just a little friendly amount towards the basket.
Yeah, nice outcome. I think she was playing to that upper hillside.
Yeah, and I think if you're landing short here, you do have a fairly safe run here. You're not facing the water or anything like that, so you can definitely give it a bid, even if you're a bit short.
Elina for par, just a little bit wide. This is Keiti for birdie here on 18. Oh, and then again off the right side on the putt. Similar error as she's had throughout the round. Again, changing the technique
And that
as the woes continue on the green.
yeah, that one just had a bit too many flips in it. Didn't quite have the forward momentum. Solid putt there from Elina.
Yeah, she brings it back nicely. So we see Keiti also tapping in her bogey. Anneli and Tinja will be finding par to round out their first rounds here of the 2023 Estonian Open. And what a round it was. Great showcase of the course of the area. Not the best weather, but still very manageable. And as we take a look at the standings for the FPO field, your leader still at even, Keiti Alsalu, 3 strokes above Tele Tumsalu at 3 over. Anneli and Christy once again tied, but this time in 3rd place at 4 over. The battle continues here at Kõrvemaa Disc Golf Park. Thank you for joining us. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It was a pleasure, and we'll see you in round 2.
See you there, everybody. Have a good one.